Imagine a world where harnessing the power of nature not only lights up homes but also directly funds the schools, healthcare, and well-being of the very people living amid the turbines. It's the kind of heartwarming story that could inspire a whole movement. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this approach fair to the bigger picture of national energy needs, or does it risk sidelining efficiency in favor of local gains? Let's dive into the fascinating details of Orkney's groundbreaking wind farm project, where every penny of profit stays right at home to uplift the community. In a refreshing twist on renewable energy development, every resident of the Orkney Islands stands to gain from a substantial wind farm initiative spearheaded by their local council. They've secured a whopping £62 million in backing from the UK's National Wealth Fund, ensuring that every bit of income from this ambitious venture goes straight into enhancing local services. This isn't just any wind farm, it's poised to become the UK's biggest publicly managed one, with plans to install up to 18 towering turbines spread across 3 different islands in Orkney. The rollout kicks off with an initial phase set for 2027, when 6 massive 150-meter-high turbines will rise near the main town of Kirkwall. This decision came after Chancellor Rachel Reeves announced on Tuesday that the National Wealth Fund would cover the building expenses. These structures are designed to produce enough clean electricity to meet the needs of roughly 47,000 households, kicking off revenue streams from 2028 that will pour about £3.3 million into the council's coffers each year. Over the project's full lifespan, that adds up to an impressive £120 million, all earmarked for boosting community resources. Proponents of the project highlight how channeling all profits back to Orkney was key to securing widespread public backing. It's a stark contrast to the backlash seen in other parts of the Highlands and on various islands, where rapid expansions of massive wind initiatives, including the laying of hundreds of miles of new power lines, have drawn sharp criticism. The main gripe? Those profits often funnel into the pockets of private firms and external investors, leaving locals feeling left out of the wealth creation. Orkney, however, has long been ahead of the curve when it comes to embracing green energy. The islands boast one of the world's premier research hubs for wave and tidal power, boast some of the UK's top rates of electric vehicle adoption, and already operate 6 smaller wind farms owned by the community. Plus, around 10% of households have their own personal turbines, showing a real cultural embrace of renewables that makes this new project feel like a natural extension. Council leader Heather Woodbridge and Swain Johnston, Orkney's head of enterprise and economic growth, emphasized that public stewardship makes the whole idea more approachable and acceptable for islanders. This setup differs greatly from what happens in other rural spots, where big corporations swoop in, exploit our natural resources, and ship the earnings off to distant shareholders, Woodbridge explained. We're the ones living with these more industrialized views, but knowing the funds will support our children's education or care for neighbors and family members makes it far more agreeable for everyone involved. Johnston added, it's an incredibly impactful approach. By socializing the benefits, we ensure they're distributed fairly and openly to all Orkney residents. Public control by the local authority is simply a more equitable model that genuinely helps the whole community thrive. Beyond the main council income, an additional £144,000 annually will be divided among Orkney's community councils, with 60% allocated to the 2 nearest to the site at Quantorness, and the rest shared among the others. The council also has ambitions to add 6 more turbines on Hoy, a sizable island south of Orkney's primary landmass, and another 6 on Farey, an unoccupied island they recently acquired. Each of these expansions is planned to be 30 megawatts in capacity, though the Hoy venture has hit a delay due to skyrocketing expenses for installing an undersea cable connecting it to the mainland, a cost the council must bear. As Johnston pointed out, the worldwide push to ramp up renewables has driven prices up sharply, creating scarcities in vital gear and supplies, such as specialized vessels for cable installation. This highlights a broader challenge. How do we balance local benefits with the global dynamics of energy transition? Zoe Holliday, CEO of Community Energy Scotland, weighed in on the significance of this model amid discussions about shifting away from fossil fuels. She noted that community or publicly run projects deliver much higher returns to locals, often far exceeding the £5,000 per megawatt typically seen from private ventures. As an example, folks on Harris are pushing for a 43 megawatts communally owned scheme. There's genuine political momentum in both Scotland and the UK to back community energy initiatives, Holliday said. By giving communities a real stake, we have the potential to revolutionize our societies for the better. But here's the part most people miss. While this Orkney success story champions local ownership, skeptics might wonder if it prioritizes community over scalability. Could focusing on profits staying home actually hinder the rapid nationwide rollout needed to combat climate change? Or is this the blueprint for a more just energy future? What do you think? Should renewable projects always prioritize local communities like this, even if it means navigating higher costs or delays? Do you see potential drawbacks in this model, or is it the way forward? Share your opinions in the comments, we'd love to hear your take.